This is the You, Me, and BTC podcast. Welcome back to another, we always say it's a Thursday episode, but being 3 hours behind recently has kind of pushed it into Friday. So, normally this comes out like really early Friday morning, like 1 or 2 in the morning Eastern time. So anyway, welcome back for another show. It might be Thursday, it might be Friday when you hear this. Or it could be any other day because it's a podcast and it really doesn't even matter, so who cares? I am Daniel Brown and I'm here with
Tim Baker
and John Stewart.
Yeah, so I was saying last week that we had several guests in a row and now it's just the three of us, so it's kind of getting back to...
I can't deal with talking to both of you just by ourselves anymore. I've had someone else who's been able to kind of shield me from you guys for a little bit. I don't know if I can do this.
Yeah, it's true. We can't deal with each other. So actually, we're kicking Tim off the show. So start rumors about that, and Anyway, hey,
they don't have to start rumors about it. You just threw it out there.
No, I know, but all right, fine, whatever. Just tweet about it a lot and mention at you, me, and BTC. That's what I meant by start rumors.
Have it trending. Tim is gone.
Exactly.
Never Tim.
So I was actually pretty serious about not knowing where this episode is going because John has some interesting ideas that we only briefly mentioned because we want to keep it fresh and we want to have our conversation on the air. So that's coming up in a minute. But I do want to mention first that we, just kind of for fun, to experiment, to see how it goes, we created a Patreon campaign, which, if you don't know, well, it's patreon.com, Patreon is what it's called. I guess is that like a spin on like patronage?
Yeah.
Like following someone?
I think so.
Patronage isn't following someone, it's like giving them money.
Okay. All right, sure.
What did you say it was?
It's like giving them money. Like if you go to a bar, you're a patron of that bar.
No, him.
I said it was like following someone, but...
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, we have a campaign there, and how it works is you can donate per something. I mean, different campaigns will be different. A lot of them are like donate X dollars per month. Some of them are like donate X dollars per song, maybe, if you're a musician like John Stewart. Some of them are donate X dollars per podcast. And obviously that's what we did. So you can pick any amount that you want. It's up to you. You can donate 50 cents per podcast or $100 per podcast if you want. And every time we put out a podcast, we'll just tell Patreon, and then we'll get the donations. But you can cancel at any time, of course.
You can also set a monthly cap.
Okay,
in
yeah,
case
that's great.
Randomly decide to put out like 30 episodes in a month.
Yeah, I did not know that, but that makes a lot of sense, and it might be a good idea because if you start giving us $100 an episode,
if we find one person who does that, we're doing a 3-day
marathon,
just Red Bull fueled.
Yeah,
just recording.
They're going to be
like
2-minute podcasts, put it out. 2-minute podcasts, put it out all day, every day.
I mean, we'll give the guy his money worth. We'll be just tweaked out of our minds, and by the last one, will be complete nonsense like it normally is, but just to a more greater degree. Wow, that took a while. But yeah, so do that at your own risk, but we'll love you if you do.
Yeah, well, it's actually, I mean, we joke, but we really will love you. Like, it means a lot. It helps out the show. And we're going to come up with goals. So, like, actual things that we can tell you that this is going to help us do. And, we're still brainstorming, so we'll get those listed in there soon. But, things like we could go ad-free if we start getting X dollars per episode. Or we could start doing special podcasts just for Patreon supporters if we start getting X dollars per episode. So we're going to try to come up with stuff like that.
Segregation, by money-wise, I like the ideas. It's like an oligarchy, but just for people who can spend money on the internet.
Segregation by money-wise. Are you okay, Tim? You okay, Tim?
I had a long day.
I think what he's saying is he thinks it's cool that you can give money to get something special, to get a higher status, and that is true. You can do that.
Well, you didn't know that Tim was a closet Marxist.
So anyway, yeah, so we'll try to come up with goals. If you have any good ideas, send us a tweet. Seriously, at you, me, and BTC. Let us know what you think we could be giving you in return for your support, and absolutely we'll consider it. Send me an email if that's easier, Daniel at youmeandbtc.com. I know we have, over the past month or so, we've got a lot more listeners on LRN.FM. So if you're out there, wherever you are, listening on the internet or satellite, we want to know what you're looking for and how we can, well, we'd love your support, and then we'd love to know how we can, give back to you and give you what you want in return for that.
Give you what you want, what you really, really want.
We do have a couple rewards already listed on there. The URL, I should have said this like 100 times already. The URL, well, I created a redirect. It's youmeandbtc.com/feedus. FEEDUS. I mean, feed us. We need fed. So, or our short link is ymb.tc/feedus, and that'll take you straight to the Patreon. The rewards, I'll mention them real quick and I guess I should say that these could change because I just kind of cranked them out in an hour or so. I just came up with some ideas. I didn't even talk to Tim or John about them, so they could change. But for the time being, if you give $1 or more per episode, that's just kind of the base reward that they have on a lot of any kind of Kickstarter or whatever. Then you're super cool. You've supported us, and you'll get access to our Patreon feed, which is exclusively for Patreon supporters, and we'll give you updates and stuff. And so, yeah, you can achieve a higher status for just $1 per episode. And that's, we do one episode a week. So, and this one is actually important right now because this isn't listed on the page, but I'm going to tell you now how you can get a little bit more. And this actually applies to anyone who donates. We're going to mention them on the show. And that'll be forever. I mean, if you donate, we'll give you a thank you on the show. But the way you can get more right now is by donating early. So if you donate now, we're going to give you a thank you in every episode for the next month. I think the next 4 episodes, I forget what date I said, but like 4 or 5 episodes, we'll give you a thank you, and you can give us a website or a Twitter handle or something you want us to plug, and we'll give you a thank you in 4 or 5 episodes. That's a pretty good deal. And then that'll continue until we close that window. So if you give us a donation in, say, like 3 weeks, then you'll still get an extra 1 or 2 weeks of shout outs and thank yous, whatever. Anyway, the second pledge, the second perk or whatever is $2, and you'll get the Twitter shout out, and we can also give you a plug there. And for $4 or more per episode, I will send you a You, Me, and BTC bumper sticker, which you could see. We did live shows before, and we showed them on the video. If you want to see what they look like, check out our most recent live shows on YouTube. You should be able to find it. But it doesn't, you don't have to see it. It's cool because we made it. So that's all that really matters.
That is correct.
And I will personally mail that to your door with a handwritten thank you or something. And plus you'll get all the previous perks. You'll get the Twitter shout out and thank yous in the show for the next few weeks. All right, I've been talking about this for too long. You, me, and btc.com/feedus or ymb.tc/feedus. All right, so I guess now like I said, I'm going to turn it over to John Stewart, and he had some interesting ideas. I want to say the key word was something about opting in, but I don't know. That's kind of a guess, and I'll let John take it from here.
Yeah, this is probably going to be really bad, so I apologize in advance. But also,
that's all right. It's fresh. It's natural.
Yeah,
that's
also like
we're identifying with our audience because everyone's really bad.
Like Daniel said at the beginning, we are guestless this week, and there's all 3 of us. And not only that, but we are just like going off of nothing right now. So this is like us at our best.
Exactly.
Or worst, however you want to think of it. This is the most raw. This is what we do.
Real podcast.
Yeah, this is...
We don't even have the dignity to lie to you anymore.
It's almost as good as our behind the scenes episode, but that was pretty special.
Anyways,
We got hate mail for that one.
Tim got hate mail for that one.
It's Daniel's decisions.
I like to pretend that I wasn't also part of it. Anyways, so yeah, I don't know. I'm struggling to think of good examples to explain what I'm talking about, because I'm going to need examples to make it more clear. But what I've been thinking about is that in liberty in general, I guess, and maybe partly in Bitcoin too, it seems like opting out of stuff is like really glorified, and I don't have any problem with that. And I think like if you can opt out of things that you don't like, that's great. But how do I don't remember if this was on air or this was after we started recording last week. But with Angela Keaton, she said something about like the people who won't they won't get driver's license because like they don't want to support the state in any way, so they like can't even drive a car or whatever. Was that on air? Do you guys remember?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
Because I know we talked about some stuff after we cut the recording. I couldn't remember if that was afterwards.
No, she said that on recording.
I know she said that. Yeah.
We highlighted it once we stopped, but
Okay.
she was already gone by that point too.
Okay. Well, anyway, so yeah, if you listened last week, you'll know about that. But I guess I've just been kind of thinking about that stuff. Like, I don't want to be like, oh, there's crazy people who... I mean, maybe there's like a little bit of that in there. I don't mean to like say somebody's like an idiot or they're like they're the dumbest person ever because they won't have a driver's license. I guess the bigger thing that I'm trying to get at is it bad to not opt out of things that other people are opting out of or that other people think are good to opt out of?
Yeah, I mean, I think part of the problem any of us are going to have with this is none of us are, at least in the past, I don't remember any of us really sticking up too much for activism a lot. Like, I think a lot of people, when it's the Social Security, like not getting a Social Security number or not getting a driver's license, is that kind of thing. It's almost like a kind of activism where it's to bring awareness about stuff, I think, with shit like that, because I don't know what else it would be for. Besides,
to make you
like,
feel good.
Yeah, and then okay, that's the other thing I was going to try to remember to mention is that they'll say like, well, you can do whatever you want, but I'm doing this. But I feel like if their convictions are that strong that they feel like they have to do it, then they should. I mean, they're going to have some kind of a negative view of, like what you said, John, about is it okay not to do those things? If you're an activist, I think you have to think that it's wrong for someone like you or me to still pay our taxes or to do something else that supports the state because it's still leading to someone getting killed. So they have to look down.
Okay, hold on. I know I'm just picking on one example here, so I don't know how this applies to the whole thing. But let's get into it anyway. When you talk about paying taxes, I don't think anybody would say it's wrong to pay taxes. I mean, a lot
of
like
people say it's wrong to pay taxes. I say it's wrong to pay taxes. You do it because you have to. It's still
no. But you're not the one that's doing anything wrong. It's like if you're a slave, it's not wrong for you to go out in the fields and pick cotton. I mean, you're saving your butt.
Okay, but you could make the argument if you're going to take the view that all taxes go towards killing people, which I don't really think I don't think they take in enough taxes.
Which they
to pay
don't
for that. All that shit's from debt anyway. But if you're going to take the view that
and
taxes,
you have to think about all the
people...
other bloated crap. Like, just think about the roads. Like, how much of your taxes go into the roads?
I don't know.
I'm just that wasn't meant to stop the conversation. I was just being the peanut gallery. You should have kept going on your rant.
Okay.
I was supporting you from the sidelines.
Okay.
I was saying that there's a lot of other bloated crap that your taxes go to besides killing people.
Yeah. If you're going to make the hard argument that some people do that your taxes go towards killing people, then for the slave example, you have to say that you're a slave, say like a slave soldier, or you're a slave building something that's going to kill people. Because then you
like
can't have that
slave,
moral thing of being like, well, you should die before doing that. And I think the activists who do a lot of this shit then also tend to be either pacifists or they're smart enough just to know not to fuck with any state guys who come after them, because that's not going to end well.
So I get what you're saying. Like, it's like if one of the slaves' jobs was like executioner, then it would still be wrong for them to execute somebody.
Well, I mean, it could be. I'm not necessarily going to condemn someone who's in that situation. I'm not going to say...
Yeah, especially, I mean, you could even without the whole slave issue, you could have the whole discussion about execution or whatever. I don't know. But
well, I think that also gets into, like, your owning yourself. Like, are you more responsible to protect your own life or somebody else's life?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's pretty much what I would ask, because the alternative is that, okay, actually, I kind of have a good example here. A few weeks ago, I took a concealed carry training class, and one of the things they talked about was in self-defense in some states. I think it varies a lot. I'm sure it does, but in Arizona, where I am getting this permit, they said you have no duty to retreat if you're executing self-defense. Legally, you have no duty to retreat. I mean, if someone's coming at you, you can just shoot them. You don't have to run away before you shoot them. But I don't even know what the instructors, they were also making the point that kind of morally and practically, like, why on earth would you not retreat? I mean, just at least try.
Like, at least having the decent.
Yeah.
It's considered decency. You can make the argument you can do whatever you need to in that situation, but
right.
If you're not just trying to kill someone that day, then you're probably going to give someone a couple chances before you resort to killing someone, or at least pulling a gun on someone and shooting it at them and possibly killing them. At least hopefully.
Right, and I think then applying that to the slave issue, the question is kind of, do we have a duty to protect other people's lives if ours are also, like, at risk? Because that's the alternative. If we don't do what the slave master says, we could get beat or killed ourselves, and so, or locked in a cage or whatever. And so the question is, and I don't even know if I have a good answer for this, but are we responsible more for other people's lives than our own? I mean, just like the first question, is it wrong to not obey your slave master if he's telling you to kill someone? Let's put it that way.
I don't think
is
you have
okay?
a responsibility to keep.
Hold on. I know I've already talked a lot. I just want to try to clarify this, make it kind of a one sentence thing. Is it okay to kill your? That's not what I'm saying either.
Is it okay to obey your slave master and kill somebody because he's going to force you to?
No.
Okay, yeah. Is it wrong to obey your slave master
if he's asking you to kill someone? That's it. That's what I want.
But he's going to kill you if you don't.
Yeah, exactly. But
or beat you.
I still didn't get what I'm looking for as a one sentence thing, because you two fuckers kept interrupting me.
Because you kept screwing it up on your own.
I know, but I was getting
like
there.
Times.
So, all right, I'm going to try one more time, because I want to get the one sentence clear question out there.
One more time.
You're not helping one bit. All right. Is it wrong to obey your slave master if he's asking you to kill someone and the alternative is you getting killed? That's it right there. I think that's close enough anyway. So I don't know. So anyway, now I kind of lost track of where we were trying to argue this anyway. So
like,
what
how
were
did we
you guys...
get to this? How did we get to this?
Yeah, this is
still not helping, Tim.
This is definitely a different case than I was envisioning, but it is definitely interesting. Like, so I think we could probably talk about it for a couple minutes at least.
All right, yeah. So what do you guys think then? Like, how would you answer that question, or at least how would you try to?
Well, this is one of those cases where like this is another thing that I've been thinking about a lot that I could have like proposed as the topic for the show is there's a lot of things that I don't think that you're required to do that are still good. Well, I shouldn't even say required. That there's a lot of things that I wouldn't say that like everybody is responsible to do, but it's better if they do them.
Yeah, exactly. Another thing from this class, concealed carry class I took, is they were saying they used the phrase awful but lawful, and it was the same thing about kind of applying it to the duty to retreat. There are a lot of times where things are lawful, but they're still awful, just like not retreating. Like it's lawful to not retreat, but it's pretty awful. I mean, why would you not just at least try to calm the situation before you just shoot someone for towing your property line, which we actually had a conversation about that before.
Well, that's like the opposite side of the coin that I'm talking about. I guess what I'm saying is, like, I don't think think about it this way, I guess. Imagine that you're the third person in that situation. So, like, you're another slave, and then your slave buddy says, all right, like, the master just told me that I either have to kill this guy or he's going to kill me. What should I do? As the third person, I feel like I shouldn't tell that person to get themselves killed. You know what I mean? Yeah. But at the same time, if they are willing to like be altruistic and let themselves get killed to protect somebody else's life, I think that is like the more upstanding choice. But like as a third person, for me to tell them that to get themselves killed, like for me it sucks because either way I'm like saying that somebody needs to die.
Yeah, that's actually a really interesting way to come at this. I agree with that. What I would say is that, I mean, I could be wrong. I'm sure there are people out there who don't really, who maybe they're even explicitly against altruism. I don't know. There's all kinds of people. But in general, I think that like even no matter how cynical you are, you're going to generally agree that altruism is a good thing. I mean, is that true?
Yeah, I would consider myself never mind.
Pretty cynical?
Yeah, but then that's kind of stupid to try to apply to yourself, I think. Anyway, talking about the person giving advice, you said that you couldn't ask someone to let themselves get killed. And I think I might have agreed with you, but I was thinking about it more, and I don't know if I might take the other side, just because I don't think that you can have someone else, like, just because the buck gets passed to you, I don't think then that gives you necessarily the right to kill someone else. Not saying if somehow in some weird situation someone has a gun to my head, says you kill this guy, I'm not saying I'll be the better person and not do that. I'm just saying,
yeah, I guess
I can't say that it. Like, I don't think you can like morally make the argument.
Are you saying that as the third person, I shouldn't tell him to kill the other person?
Yeah,
because I did say that either way, if you're the third person, like, you're saying that somebody needs to die, so it sucks either way. I guess what I meant is more that I couldn't be like, oh, well, you need to let yourself get killed. Like, that is the only, like, you need to do that, and if you don't, like, you're a terrible person. I feel like that would be that would be the worst thing that I could say. Well, maybe not the worst thing. The worst thing would be like, you should kill the other guy and enjoy it, I guess. But like, it also wouldn't be good for me to be like, you need to die.
Right.
I might say like I think that like it would be better for you, or it would be a better decision to protect the other person's life than your own, but I can't tell you that you need to let yourself get killed.
Are you tired of Bitcoin dice and ready for something different? Try Lucky Bit. the original falling coin game at luckybee.it. It's the most exciting Bitcoin game on the web. You can bet on 5 different payout lines and win up to 999 times your bet. You can even use their faucet to get some free Bitcoin. Dice is boring. Play different at LuckyBit. Check it out at luckybee.it. So to make this a little more applicable, we should bring this back to taxes. So what we're saying, I guess, well, what John is saying and what I think I agree with is like, as the third party, as the people trying to give advice on whether or not you should pay taxes, basically our best advice has to be like, listen, I think it would be better for you not to pay taxes because that's going to get people killed. And I know the alternative is putting yourself at risk, and I know it's your decision. I'm not going to tell you to put yourself at risk, but the best I can come up with is it's probably not the nicest thing in the world to give your money to a criminal organization. Is that a proper application?
Yeah, that's the perfect example of what I was just saying about if someone has a gun to my head. Well, someone has a gun to my head, says if you don't give me money to do all this stupid shit that you don't really like, and I'm just like, all right, fine, just take it. I don't care because I'm a coward.
Yeah, I mean,
so yeah, it's a perfect application right there.
I think, though, like, with the paying taxes, I think it is more gray than the slave example. Just because, like Tim was saying, like, not all of your money goes to killing people, and it's probably less than you think. But also...
Yeah, but I'm, like, really against potholes getting filled, too, so I couldn't deal with it.
But also... Oh, crap, what was I just going to say?
Yes, I derailed it.
Oh, also, like you said, Daniel, at the very beginning, like, you're not actually the one killing somebody. Like, the fact that you're paying taxes doesn't make the people who are actually doing the killing not responsible.
Exactly. Yeah, that's something that I was thinking earlier on. I don't know how much of it I got out, but that's a really good point. I mean, even if the first slave kills someone because the slave master says so, is it the first slave's fault, or is it the slave master's fault? There's a Protest the Hero clip where they have some politician who's like, well, it might be partially his fault and partially their fault. Maybe it's 50-50. I don't know. do you guys know what I'm talking about?
They have that one, and then they also have one about maybe never mind. They don't have the clip. It's just a lyric. Never mind. But yeah, I think that's about a gay dude that got beat up though. But yeah, they blame. Yeah, it's like it's kind of his fault. It's kind of the 4 guys that beat him to death's fault. It's like, how does that make sense?
Well, yeah. So what's the answer then?
Well,
I mean, whose fault is it? Is it really partially?
Well, you're
the
paying
slave
for the money
fault?
to go there. The guys who are pulling a trigger and are still pressing buttons and stuff like that—that's their fault.
But the thing is, you're also giving them the money at gunpoint. So like they have double. They're also the ones who are doing that to you. So like. There's like double responsibility on their side?
Kind of. I mean, but the individual soldier isn't responsible.
But if you're thinking of it as like a system, and if you're going to take the individual soldier thing, then like you could also say like as an individual person, does you not paying taxes actually stop anything from happening? And like the answer is no.
No, but individual soldiers still responsible for what he's doing.
That's what I'm saying. They're more responsible than you are, because
I'm not
you stopping doesn't. You not paying taxes doesn't stop anything really. If we're like being serious about it.
All this is just an elaborate way for him to tell me I don't make enough money to matter.
Well, that is pretty true for all of us.
The thing is, like, even if everybody stopped paying taxes, I think they would still be killing people until they went completely bankrupt.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Until, like, somebody's like you need to actually pay back your debt.
Put it into a fucking shell.
Yeah, like, I don't think it's just, like, purely money that's, like, driving it.
Yeah. Yeah. So what then? I mean, have we come up with some kind of answer? I mean, Well, no, I want to still focus on the whose fault is it. So is what you're saying, John, is that
it's everybody's fault.
it is the slave's fault?
I'm saying that if you get born into a country where like they're involved in wars, like our country is, and you're born with a social security number because your parents weren't like crazy anarchist people who didn't want you to have a driver's license or whatever. Sorry, I'm using the word crazy again. I'm not like whatever. I've already talked about that. But like you're born into this, and like if you don't do it, if you don't pay your like sum, you're gonna go to prison, and if you don't do that, you're gonna get killed in a standoff or whatever is gonna happen. And even if you do all that and get killed or get sent to prison, you're like it's still gonna keep happening. So like how even if you have, I think you could argue that you have like some amount of responsibility, but the size of your responsibility in comparison
to
the size of the
like
responsibility that lays elsewhere is like negligible, I guess is what I'm saying.
Okay. I get what you're saying, John, but does that even make a difference? Well, I mean, why does it matter how responsible you are relative to them? If you are responsible at all, I mean, shouldn't it be something? If you're responsible at all for getting someone killed, even if it's just a fraction of a percent, wouldn't you still say that, well, you shouldn't have done whatever it was that made you responsible for that, and you should have done something else?
But, well, I guess it's about balancing like the cost of that. Because is that really worth dying for, or going to prison for the rest of your life for?
Okay. Is there talk about what I don't know what the word negligibility or something like in ethics ever?
Negligence? Yeah.
Not negligence. Like something like something. If you're going to fight against some kind of evil or perceived evil, but the amount that you can accomplish is so negligible that it's not even worth doing. Is there ever any talk of that specifically in talks about like ethics, morale? I mean, I'm not.
That's a good question.
Yeah, I'm sure there has to be. Correctly. I mean, because in this place.
Hang on, real quick. I'm not a philosopher, so I don't know if people if there's a term for that. But I think you should write a book about it, Tim, and become famous about the
negligibility and the ability to quit caring about anything.
Negligibility with respect to evil.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's like I was saying, it's not so much the fact that you have responsibility at all. It's that like the amount of responsibility compared to the like punishment cancels it out, I guess is what I'm saying.
Okay. Yeah. So the punishment, which is you yourself dying, that's a pretty serious thing. And so because the other part is negligible, then we're gonna stop me dying, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
and I mean, if you combine that with the fact that what we were saying earlier, that maybe you're not more responsible to protect other people's lives than your own. We never really fully answered that question, but like if you want to say that, then even more so, I would say that you're not responsible in this case.
Yeah, so I think I can generally agree with most of this. I think I've found a somewhat acceptable stance here. Yeah, but I don't know. My opinions change every episode, so what difference does it make? but what I want to ask next is to step back again to the very first things we started, or that you started saying, John, about opting in and the thing about like activism and the whether or not you should get social security numbers and stuff like that. Have we responded to any of that yet? Have we given, does the whole conversation we just had about slaves and murder and taxes and the negligibility with respect to evil and everything, did we even touch on your first points yet?
Yeah, I mean, I think the tax thing is pretty much...
Those were kind of just included as being part of the system, I thought.
Yeah. I think they were definitely like contributed to the whole conversation.
So your original question was what? Like, is it overrated to opt out?
It was more, I guess, like
how much does it really accomplish?
Not
opting
even
out.
not even that, but like should people feel guilty about not opting out / should people
Okay.
feel like self-righteous for opting out?
Okay.
I guess.
Yeah, that I like. And now I see what you mean then. That is exactly, that applies to the taxes situation. I mean, should we feel guilty for paying taxes, or should we feel
No, you
super
shouldn't
proud?
feel I mean, I think that's just not the best way to word the question.
I mean, that's
What-
kind of exactly what I mean.
Yeah, John's question, if we apply it to taxes, it's should we feel guilty for not paying or for paying taxes, or should we be super proud of ourselves for not paying taxes? And I think what we were saying is really neither. I mean, neither one is the great. I guess the greatest thing would be to not pay taxes and not get killed, which is, theoretically, there's a lot of people that do that, I guess, right?
Yeah, I mean, maybe rewording the one half of it, like I guess if you can manage to not pay taxes, like it's not a bad thing to like feel proud about it. I guess it's more like, well, I think what I said was self-righteous. Like, can you then judge people who don't opt out? Can you then judge people who do pay taxes?
People are going to, no matter what. I mean, that's just how people
yeah.
are.
Yeah, I know, but I guess, is it like a good thing? Because I feel like I guess that goes along with the guilt. Like, if you feel guilty for not doing it, then when somebody is like you suck because you pay taxes, like you're not gonna
like a social
defend
pressure
yourself
makes
if you
more
feel
people-
guilty about it.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that like you shouldn't encourage people who are thinking about it, who like actually want to opt out. Like, if somebody's like thinking about doing it and they want to, like, and you say, well, I think you should, like, that's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've had. I've actually really enjoyed this conversation because it's stuff I've been thinking about a lot lately. It's almost the
we're
beginning
glad,
of
Peyton.
April, so
Yeah.
I mean it's tax month, I guess. So
Yeah.
or about to be.
Oh,
But-
that
but
just
also-
reminded me. I had a great pun and I didn't use it. It's too late for it now.
Thank God.
Maybe it will come up later.
Yeah. If you get set up for it, we'll all right. But also another reason I've been thinking about it is just because I've heard them having a pretty similar conversation on Free Talk Live recently, which I mean they touch on this all the time.
They touch some other things too.
That was good. Yeah. They got their one of the hosts was raided. He got all of his electronics stolen just today. We're recording on Sunday, the 20th of March, if you
Which
care.
legitimately, it's probably, I'd imagine, like a plant thing. They're just like, oh yeah, you
Oh,
have child porn, we'll just
it's a
steal all your
joke,
shit.
or it's,
It's not a joke.
Yeah,
It's just
Tim,
like, yeah,
we
we just
didn't-
don't want you having any of your computers.
Tim, you're not helping. I didn't even finish the story. We have to say that it was because of child porn, and then you can add whatever you want. But let me finish the goddamn story before you just start giving your damn opinions. Okay. Where was I going with that? Jesus. Anyway, yeah, on Free Talk Live, a couple of the hosts freely admit all the time on air, on international radio, they're like, oh, I haven't paid taxes in 10 years. And, there's other hosts who are pretty similarly pro-liberty and everything. And, I mean, he's like, well, I pay every year because I don't want to get killed. And it's a tough, I mean, not killed probably, but I don't want to get locked in a cage, or I don't want all my money to be stolen. I mean, and so, yeah, I mean, it's a tough conversation. And, I'm curious about how we should approach it. And I don't know, what did we come up with? Basically just, neither one is really the greatest option. So try to just pick the one that you think is the best and go with it, I guess.
Follow your conscience is all we really came up with.
Yeah, I don't know. Another thing that I thought about a little bit ago that I wanted to bring up, it was probably like 2 years ago or something like that. I don't know how long ago it was, a while, but there was something similar to this that it was Adam Kokesh was talking with somebody about, and they were talking about going out to protests and stuff like that if you had like a wife and kids,
Yeah.
And like whether or not like that's a good idea or a bad idea. This is kind of a related thing, I
agree.
think. Like, to protect your family, is it worth not doing something that you might like that you might do if you didn't have a family?
Oh, I totally agree. And I've honestly that's actually something I've thought exactly about. And even with taxes, I mean, if you're going to have a wife and kids, you're putting them at risk too if you don't pay taxes. And, you have to weigh that risk. Is it worth doing? I'll grant that it's a pretty decent thing to do. It's activism. And I mean, maybe it's negligible, but I don't know. You could save lives too by not paying taxes. But, you put your wife at risk or your kids at risk. You got to think through everything, and it's not an easy thing to do. So I really do agree that makes a difference, having a family. Yeah. So I think we can wrap up pretty soon. And normally we do advice of the week, but I guess, I don't know, is it even worth doing today since pretty much this whole episode has been trying to give advice and, sort of coming through?
Failing.
Do we have anything to add?
No, we're like that annoying person. It's like, well, you could do this. You could do that. But you should probably do this.
If your slave master tells you to kill someone else, you better kill that bastard.
Yeah,
not the slave owner, the guy that he told you to kill.
Kill everybody.
My advice is just don't be a slave master, right? I mean, if nobody was a slave master, if nobody made you pay taxes,
Daniel,
then we would not even be having this discussion.
Who would make the grain? Who would make the bread? Who would make the corn, Daniel?
No,
who would pick the cotton?
There we go. You could have said that way better. All you had to say was who would pick the cotton, but somehow corn got in there. Anyway.
I don't know.
All right.
Who would pick the tobacco?
No, but I'm actually seriously making that my advice is just don't be a slave master, please.
Yeah, don't be a dick to people like that.
Anything else before we wrap up? Actually, for me, one more advice. Get to ymb.tc/feed us. Check out our Patreon.
I think you're saying feed us every single time.
Crap.
Every single time you say it, I'm like, why is it fetus?
That's why. See, that's this whole thing with branding that I've been talking about. Like, that's why it's so important to pick the right brand, because it's so easy to misunderstand words.
That's why it's so important for you to ask us before you call it fetus.
No. Wow. All right, so go to patreon.com/you, me, and BTC. There we go. Or fetus. I mean, whatever. I don't know. Just go find it. Google it. Google you, me, and BTC Patreon.
It's not that hard, people.
It won't even matter if you misspell it then, because Google's pretty good at fixing that.
Nobody wants to give us money anyways. I don't know
hey,
why we're even...
Hey, as little as $1 an episode, and we'll give you like 4 or 5 free plugs. I'm ignoring you, Tim.
I thought you said that was $2. What the fuck?
No,
$2 for
$2 is the tweet. Any amount, and you get the extra plugs on the show for being an early donator. So it's any amount. It's just to get things going, because there's a lousy zero.
And I
patrons.
didn't mention this before, but Daniel said that we will tweet and mention every single donation we get. Please do not hold us to that. That's most likely, hopefully, not going to happen.
Wait.
Yeah.
Why would that not? It's
because
$2.
Hopefully someday we'll have like thousands donations come in at like
$10
each, and you just won't have time.
Okay.
Hopefully we have so many people that it's not possible for us to actually do that.
Yeah, exactly, Daniel. I'm looking forward.
Yeah, I mean, Gilbert Gottfried gets like $15,000 a month on Patreon. So, I mean, that's kind of what we're going for.
Wait, what does he do?
I don't even know. It's just
he
just
used to be the
Aflac
Aflac Duck, but then he made some racist joke or something. He got fired.
But you have to have like a deliverable.
Like,
what is his deliverable?
I don't know. I could
he
check.
Just talks,
but...
probably. He just makes ringtones for people.
Yeah, ringtones. We're gonna start a new ringtone Patreon page as well. So if you want, Daniel is like has an orgasm every time he hears his voice. So maybe you want that as your ringtone.
That's right. Smooth butter. There you go. No, Tim, you were saying like something about not holding them to the so many tweets, and I did say earlier these could change a little, so there we go. But still, for at any rate, for being an early, the biggest opportunity for all of you listening right now on LRN.FM or World Crypto Network or Liberty.me, the biggest opportunity is those like 4 or 5 free plugs if you donate right now. I'm saying 4 or 5 because I'm not sure. I said like a month, and I'm not sure where the Thursdays fall or whatever. But you can get free plugs for whatever you want. So get over there and donate any amount. Patreon.com/you, me, and BTC. I feel like we've talked way
Terms
too
and
much.
conditions may apply.
Yeah,
it's not even that long of an episode. Honestly, I looked up at 30 minutes and I was like, have we already talked that long?
It just goes.
I don't know. It's kind of the opposite for me. I feel like it's been an hour and a half, but whatever.
He just hates our
Probably
company.
because you talked for like 30 minutes just on the beginning about whatever.
Exactly about
You did spend
Patreon.
quite a bit of
and then
time
we
stumbling through
talked
that.
for another 30 minutes about Patreon at the end. I don't know. Are we good, guys? Get to
Did
you.
we even
We
have
gotta
an
focus
episode
on
in
people
there?
Patreon centric.
Was there even an episode in between the Patreon plugs?
All right,
It's all
guys.
Patreon.
Thanks for being here. Come back next Thursday
Please
or
pay us not to
Friday
have
or
any more of these.
whenever. Yeah, if you want that to be one of the goals on Patreon, tweet us that.
Maybe if we get
Stop
like $1,000 an episode, we'll only have one more episode.
Exactly. It could happen. I don't know, more than 1,000, maybe like 50,000. But
You
anyway,
have to pay us to
We will
stop.
sell out for 50 grand.
please stop. I know it's the internet. I know I don't have to download your podcast and listen to it, but please stop. I'm going to start paying the FCC to like make it illegal to be called you, me, and BTC. Okay, really,
We'll just
I'm
rebrand.
serious this time. We're done. Yeah, we're going to rebrand if you do that, but you can still do it. You should. But no, seriously, we're done now. Goodbye. Seriously, bye. Stop
Bye-bye.
listening. No, I'm not joking. Quit listening to this show. It's a disaster. You should
Stop
really.
doing Ferris Bueller.
I've never seen Ferris
There's got to
Bueller,
be
but
some kind of no.
you, whoever you are, listening to your radio, turn it off. Seriously,
Turn off your
it's not
radio,
getting any
sir.
better. It's really not.
It's just gonna get worse.
How long is this going to go on?
All right, all the music in today's show was from Jon Stewart. Goodbye.
I haven't. You're just going to hear me without the context of what I'm talking about. Oh, this is terrible. That really was a show. Alright, I need to stop my recording.